All right. Remember, we finished Yasuhiko, Fubuki, and Halara. And now we have Vivia, the near-death detective, and Yako. Thank you, my detective. So this is going to be very interesting. So again, if you haven't played RAINCODE or watched my RAINCODE Let's Play, I would suggest doing so. I would suggest doing so because these characters are within the story. We've already met them before. We already know what their powers are. So yeah, now we're going to be dealing with Vivia and Yako. So it's going to be great. All right. Might have some Sprite later. My stomach's feeling woozy. Already been recording, Knight. Already been recording. Alright. So let's go ahead and start Chapter Vivia, the Near-Death Detective. Vivia visits a building to investigate an unsolved case. However, the elevator leading to the roof stops, leaving him inside, stuck inside with a woman. Trapped within the motionless box, Vivia closes in on the truth as he faces life and death. Jesus, that's terrifying! That is absolutely terrifying. See, I don't want to be trapped in the elevator. That just sounds like a bad idea. But we're going to do it anyway. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. Whew. Only autosave is enabled for subsidies. That's fair enough. Being trapped in elevators? That sounds horrifying. But let's see this. Woo-wee. Yeah, it's perfect for spooky month. That's fair. It's perfect for spooky month. Oh. Okay.
Death is always awaiting me upon my path. Like trees neatly lining the roadside, casting dark shadows at my feet.
Indeed.
Even if I manage to overcome them and make progress down that path, when I turn around, the cruel truth is waiting there. The shadows are a procession to my own funeral.
Okay.
To live means to continuously die. Every human is nothing but a walking corpse.
That's not a creepy mindset at all.
I, too, am dying in this moment.
What? What? The near-death detective. Jesus Christ, Vivia. Can you get even more edgy? Seriously? Oh. Oh, this
doesn't seem to be moving at all. And the management company isn't responding either.
Great! We love it when people don't do their fucking job.
I guess we just have to wait.
Right.
If you wait long enough, everything will come to an end. Just as there is rain unceasing, a day will come when the sun doesn't rise, and when the oceans dry up too.
And it'll all be due to climate change.
One day, you will die, and so will I.
If we didn't die, we would be vampires.
Is that supposed to be a joke? How can you talk about death in this situation?
What else are we supposed to talk about? The weather? Oh wait, there's no window. We can't see outside. Just saying.
I'm not enjoying this situation enough to make light jokes about it.
Fair enough.
I think I'd find things a bit more enjoyable if I wasn't trapped in here with you.
I apologize if I've offended you. I wish to avoid all unnecessary fights.
Extremely fair point. That is an extremely fair point. Also, she sounds familiar. I'm not gonna name a name, because like there's only 3 girls I can think of that can do that voice range. I'm like, familiar.
Same goes for me. Sorry I raised my voice. I'm not used to situations like this.
I'm gonna throw a curveball and say Dawn Bennett. I'm gonna throw a curveball. But It could also be Kira. It could also be Kaylee. It also be... There's so many girls who have that magnificent range.
Nor am I. We found something we agree on.
Aren't you afraid?
This guy's afraid of nothing. He literally carries around a box cutter.
Afraid?
Of all this? We're stuck in an elevator, hanging in midair. What if something happens and we fall to our deaths?
Then you lay on the ground with your legs and arms and legs spread out wide, so that way you spread out the surface area of your body and reduce the damage.
I don't think I'm afraid.
What if the elevator is never fixed and we're trapped here forever?
That would kind of be shit.
Then it'll be like a coffin. I actually think it would be rather cozy. I could just sleep here until I die.
This is way too big of a coffin, and also this is a coffin built for two, apparently, in your perspective.
What's with you and your death wish?
It's not like I intended to have one. It's hard to describe. Thinking of death is like breathing to me.
Do you find it fun to live like that?
I don't think it's a matter of fun. I think it's just a matter of he's kind of that damaged, or he's just kind of that just viscerally done with life, where it's just kind of like he doesn't care either way.
Isn't that what life is all about? There are things that I find fun. For example, I love reading stories.
Makes two of us.
For some reason, I feel more alive when I can invest in a story's protagonist.
Fair.
I also love gazing at the beauty found in nature. Seeing plants sway in the breeze brings joy to my heart.
Appreciation of life.
You sure are a strange one.
He's just an edgy boy. He's just an edgy Tumblr sexy boy.
Am I? What about you? What makes you happy?
Well, I suppose I like to observe life.
Okay.
Observe life.
I used to be a nurse.
Oh.
I've seen many lives saved and lost at the hospital. Life should be more precious than diamonds, but some people are treated more poorly than a pebble on the road.
That's life.
Isn't that strange? A life is a life, so why should its value be different depending on the person?
Well, if you really want to be existential about it, is the life of someone who has done nothing wrong the same as someone who's done something wrong? Are the lives of the same value? If you know that there is a difference between someone who is pure and innocent and good versus someone who has done something wrong, then this argument is completely unnecessary, because we as human beings already set a value on life. It doesn't have to be rich or poor. It doesn't have to be man or woman. It doesn't have to be gay or straight. It doesn't have to be anything. We all have a basis of value, and we value other people based on our perception of the belief we have. In the non-biased, non-human perspective possible, everyone is actually equal, because everyone breathes, eats, sleeps, shits and pisses, and walks in this earth thinking that they know shit. The 5 basics that we all live, of living and just being matter in this world, makes us all equal. What makes value is what we're seen as to each person's perspective. Moving the soapbox away, that was not intended to be a soapbox. So that was not intended to be a soapbox.
So now, whenever I look at people, I watch their lives. I wonder how valuable each life may be.
You're also kind of strange.
Am I?
A little bit.
Speaking of which, I didn't catch your name. I'm Vivia. Who are you?
I'm real.
Pleasure.
Rio. I think we may have met before. Do you remember?
This is starting off very, inquisitive and very, heavy in sense of topic. And we're still in the fireplace, like usual. Hey, Yako.
Hey, Vivia. Everyone else is out on a job. How long are you gonna stay there?
I don't know.
Until I die?
Then you're just gonna stink up the fireplace, and then, like, there's gonna get rats and bugs in the fireplace, and you really want to be the source of that, dude? Your corpse will literally rot in there.
You gotta be kidding me. Do I have to pull the pieces of you out of there once you're a skeleton?
You'll have to dig past the rats and the bugs first.
If you have free time, why don't you help work on some unsolved cases?
Chief, do I look like I have a lot of free time to you?
I would say yes, but you know, as someone who literally, like, overworks themselves, looking at you, I'm like, no, you could just be using your time to absorb knowledge. So, yeah.
You look like you're so bored you could die.
Mouth.
Look, just hear me out as a way to kill time.
Okay.
There have been a series of suspicious deaths lately. People jumping to their demise from a certain building.
Jesus.
The first one was over 5 years ago, and people have been periodically jumping ever since.
What the hell?
There's been over 10 confirmed cases.
Okay.
What's suspicious about that?
That's actually pretty suspicious, being that we don't want it to be an... I can't believe I'm... Forgive me for being, like, insensitive. This is insensitive. We do not want another suicide forest in our lives. We do not need a place of constant suicide. That's bad. That's very bad.
They came across a building to jump off of when they happened to feel like dying.
But they shouldn't want to die because life has meaning, and so we're trying to figure out if these jumps are actually, like, why are people using this building?
That's probably all there is to it.
At the same time, we should probably do something to stop that, because life matters and human life matters?
That could be true for 1 or 2 cases, but over 10 times in the same spot?
This world probably doesn't have suicide forests, so if there is a place that is literally leaked with death, many often people use that as a reason to, if other people have done it, then might as well. It's just like,
That's unusual, no matter how you look at it.
very much so.
Are you suggesting someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes?
Wouldn't be surprised.
We won't know until it's investigated. It'd be an absolute nightmare if someone is getting their kicks killing people and making it look like suicide.
Yeah.
For the sake of the town's safety, it's not something we can ignore. That's where we come in.
Okay.
There's no point in investigating it. All we will find is boring reality.
At the same time, it still needs to be faced.
No matter how boring it is, it's still reality. There's value in finding it.
Detectives are such troublesome creatures.
Then don't be one, Vivia. just don't be one if you believe so.
Aren't you one too?
Vivia.
Huh?
Yeah, Vivia, remember? That's your job. The thing that you do to make money to buy the books that you enjoy while you're venting about wanting to die? Yeah, that's part of your job.
Don't look at me all surprised. Why'd you come here if you're no detective? Aren't you here to solve mysterious crimes and help those who are lost?
Yeah? Yeah, that's what we thought. Yeah. Vivian's always been a detective. He's probably, it's rumored that he's one of the best ones. So, No, Yako doesn't pay them. The detective, the big detective group does it. The detective agency does. The International Detective Agency
You
does.
asked me why I came to this town.
It's reeks of death.
I don't understand it myself.
Really?
I'm not actively searching for a place to die just yet. I'm not here to be a detective searching for the truth. It's nothing so pure or sincere. The reason I came to this city was due to my impatience with living. What did I seek by coming here? What do I expect from this place?
I don't know. Hair down in the rain. Interesting. I mean, just like Vivia, but still. Oi, 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 oi!
That was a woman in a red raincoat. That reminds me. The chief did mention something.
Did that car just run through her? Is she a ghost? Did that car just run through her? Did she jump over the car and like, did she like dive underneath it? Like, did she swirl around it? Like, she's a ghosty ghost.
Around the building where the suicides occur, a suspicious woman in a red raincoat has often been spotted. I'm not interested in the truth, but I am interested in her. I should try to tag along behind her without being spotted.
Stealth mission? Great. The way you walk is weird, Vivia. Okay. What is with this run? What is it with this run? Okay. It's time to tail the woman in the red raincoat. Okay. Why are we walking around in a circle? We're almost in a circle at this point. She's a ghost. Absolutely, she's a ghost. Jesus Christ, Vivia. Like, just... There we go. Like, a very brief, like... I'm barely pressing the controller, and I'm like, this is the walk. Because, like, any further, and I go into a Naruto run. Okay.
I see. This is the perfect building for dying.
Okay. Is she like a ghost just like enticing people to go up there and just like throwing them off? Is she like a vengeful spirit or shit like that?
We've met before? Are you sure about that?
You haven't met me, but I've met you.
I don't remember you at all. Are you sure it was me you met?
Maybe, maybe not.
There's no mistake. You have that smell.
The smell of death?
Smell?
You smell faintly of death.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? That's rather rude.
Do you live in this building?
Yes. Why?
Uh-huh. From what I've heard, there hasn't been anyone living in this building for a long time.
So a ghost. She is a ghost.
Who said that? Oh, was it the people around here? They probably have a grudge against this place. They say the building blocks the sun, or that it's sinking into the bedrock.
Really? The clouds are blocking the sun. Anyone with the proper mentality knows this. And the bedrock's only sinking, but then everywhere around would be sinking.
What about all the people who have fallen to their deaths from this place? Is that nothing but a groundless rumor, too?
Do you know something, Rio?
Of course it is.
You're full of shit. I could smell it.
But it isn't. It's fact. Even the newspapers have articles about it. If you live here, then you must have heard about it. Many unsolved cases in the city have been completely left alone. Of course, this has nothing to do with me. I have no interest or desire to know the truth.
Shinrin with the $2. This woman looks like Maki or sounds like Maki. A little bit like Maki. Yeah, a little bit. If Maki grew up, straight up, Rio would be Maki. Eyes are a little different though, but I can absolutely see it.
However, I am somewhat interested in you.
Okay, Vivia, the way you say that is a little bit creepy. Out of context, someone might have a problem with that.
Are you hitting on me?
They would look at it like that, sure, but not the point.
I suppose you could take it that way.
So, anyone who sees Vivia as a Mr. Sexy Tumblr man, there you go. There's your self-insert right there. Ryu is your self-insert right there.
I see. To be honest, I'm interested in you too.
Killing him? Watching him die? Making him jump off the building? Are you a ghost?
Although it's more that your life force makes me curious. It's... how do I put this? Faint. Thinner than paper. Almost as though I can see death waiting on the other side.
Uh-huh.
I could say the same about you.
Touch her. See if she's actually there.
Sheesh. This is a hassle. I guess I'll get to the point. You killed them, didn't you?
I mean, how? It could be she's a guiding spirit. It could be she's just watching all of this happen and just lamenting the fact. If she is real, she could be 100%. I'm just thinking of the variables of like, the fact that a car literally ran her through and she's still walking makes me think that she's a ghost. At the same time, why is she still there? Is she a disgruntled ghost? Is she like the actual killer leading people to their death? Like there's so many different like scenarios and there's so little time in this DLC to really figure it out.
I did it?
You lured people from the city here and pushed them off the building, making it appear like suicide.
Vivia, I'm gonna push back. I don't think she's actually pushing them off. I think she's convincing people to. Either through blackmail or through a haunting or it's just something that's filling a person with dread to make them jump off a building.
Why did you kill them? There's no benefit in it for you. For fun? You wanted to see them die? Or did you develop a special interest in the value of people's lives? If so, that makes you a serial killer.
Okay, so if we're gonna go with that angle, yeah, it would be the case.
Me? A killer?
If she says, I'm not the one making people jump off the roof, so she has her hands, basically her hands are clean because she's not the one pushing people off, nor is she the one, like, actively pushing. Well, she's not actively convincing people to jump, she's just there. And basically, she makes them convince themselves to jump off, thus her hands are clean.
Well then, I guess that means you're trapped inside an elevator with a killer.
Honey, he's got a thing of box cutters. And he ain't afraid to use them.
Strangely, I've found myself in situations like this often. Whether I want it or not, death finds its way to me.
You're not afraid?
Afraid? No, it's more like observing from a great distance as dark clouds slowly spread out over the ocean.
I don't quite get it, but it doesn't sound joyful to me.
If you met this guy, if you went on a date with this guy, he's nowhere near.
Though, you were like this from the very beginning. Truth be told, I can tell when someone has a death wish. I sense their desire to go to the other side. Yes, you remind me of them.
The other side.
Death.
Did all those you lured here feel the same way?
Lord? You're mistaken. I didn't do anything myself. I was just here.
I'm leaning more to the you're a spirit and you're just watching shit happen. The feeling of dread that surrounds you convinces people.
People like you happen to show up here. Then they depart to the other side on their own.
You really want to insist that you weren't involved? That all those who died came here of their own accord?
That's right. Aren't you the same way?
Really? We're gonna pull this card?
Me? Perhaps.
Huh. Interesting. This back and forth is real interesting. I like this writing here. This little back and forth is quite intriguing. Because it's really putting the perspective of, like, why is Vivia truly here? So it's just like, Okay.
I want to die someday.
Indeed you do.
And perhaps this is a fitting place for it.
Probably not, being that a lot of the homunculi here literally cannot die.
The view here is nice, don't you think? That's certainly an added benefit.
I'm gonna soapbox after this one. Sorry, I need to soapbox after this because I just had a realization and I'm so freaking stupid about it. Moving on.
The journey here wasn't easy, but things are just getting started. Vivia, let's save Kanai Ward. Together.
That's not why I came to this city.
Right. I'm counting on you then. Wait, what did you say?
Yako, he didn't bend to the hero story that you placed out there, man. Don't even try.
Did I mishear you?
No, he just denied your hero monologue.
I don't care what happens to Kanai Ward. And I have no intention to obey orders from the WDO either. I just want some peace and quiet. A calming place where time will gently pass by.
What are you talking about? You're not gonna find that here. The only place you can find perfect peace is heaven. And the only ones who can reach it are the dead. Wait, don't tell me you...
Just leave me alone.
I can't do that. We need your help. Hey, Vivia!
Intriguing. So Vivia had no intention of doing his job until Yuma came?
I've always been able to see the dead. And what they tell me is always true. The truth has been exhausting for me, for as long as I can remember. Even when I cover my eyes and ears, their voices continue to whisper it to me. Please, be quiet. No matter how much I beg for it, the calm will never come. Where's the perfect peace? It's found in death.
Ah, there's the look. Everyone who steps into this elevator has the same look in their eyes. They want to escape reality as soon as possible. They don't care where they end up, as long as they can get away. This elevator will take you to your desired exit. The path to the other side.
This particular elevator?
And it's your job to see them off. You've seen so many on their way from here. It's like you are the guide to the afterlife.
Like a symbolism of red death or something like that? With a red coat?
So what if I am? Aren't you similar?
Not necessarily.
Perhaps. That may be true. It moved.
Life is like this elevator. Once it moves, it will not stop. I can hear them.
Hey, Vivia! Where are you? Hey, Vivia! Where are you?
That voice.
How did Yako's voice get in that box?
Do you recognize it?
No.
Vivia, come the fuck on!
If you have any attachments in this world, I suggest you don't depart.
Attachments? If that's the case, why did you go to the other side?
Huh?
The first of those who died was a woman wearing a red raincoat.
So you are a ghost. Okay, so my suspicion was clear. You are a ghost. Probably some representation of death, or like, because you were the first, you feel the doubt of leaving shit behind. But that contradicts everything about this entire case, about this entire lore. The fact that you as a soul exist. Would this insinuate that either A, you were not a homunculus and your spirit remained here, so you were never made into a homunculus, and thus your spirit is here because you have unfinished business? Because if you were a homunculus, you would still be here, technically. But your body would literally be out in the outskirts of the city.
Her name was real. It was written in a newspaper article. Why do you still ride this elevator, even after death? Isn't it because you're still attached to this world?
You have unfinished
Are
business.
you don't seem like an ordinary human.
The first case was 10 years ago, homunculus. So she is a human. She's not a homunculus at all. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Timeline-wise, I forgot. The homunculus project was 3 years ago, prior to the WDS stepping in. So, yeah. So, she's human. Sorry. Again, it's been a bit since I touched RAINCODE. My brain has been into, like, Ace Attorney, as well as, like, Final Fantasy 16. My brain has moved into the other plots of the other stories, so.
I'm a regular detective. I just happen to have one foot on the other side.
I see. Still, you surprised me. You knew I was already dead.
Okay.
I told you in the beginning, and you smelled of death.
You did.
You're responsible for stopping this elevator, using some spiritual power, or whatever. You haven't been guiding the suicidal to the roof of this building. You've been stopping the elevator in an attempt to make them reconsider.
Okay, less nefarious than what I thought, but you know what? That's a valid path.
You sure are a mean one. You knew all along.
Did you try to save them?
Yes. As I'm sure you know, I haven't been able to stop a single one. More than 10. And I've watched all of them go. That's why I think it's my fault. Because I chose this place for my own death, it's become rather famous for suicides. I was just tired of living. I wanted to go somewhere far away from this place.
But you regret it.
Yes. That's why I always stop the elevator whenever someone comes here, so I can speak to them. But I've never been able to convince them otherwise. All I've done is provide some time to think things over. Everyone who comes here has claimed none would be saddened by their deaths.
And that's the unfortunate part of depression and suicide. You always think that no one will mourn you, that no one will care about you, but in reality, there always will be someone. Even if it's not present, there could be someone in the future. And that's what we tend to forget. We always look into the past and present and we think that we're alone, when really, there's a big, bright future where we could potentially meet someone who will give a shit about us, who will care about us. The reality is, we as human beings are never alone. Never. That's not the case. There are over, like 5 billion of us in this fucking world? And I'm not saying this is a demeaning thing. I'm saying this as a matter of fact. There will be someone out there to love you, to appreciate you, to care for you, all to comfort you. There will always be someone out there. You have to just be willing to open your heart to it. And it's hard. It's scary. It's terrifying. Especially if you felt pain and suffering and fear. Even the most hated people in this fucking world, even the people who just are genuinely the scum of the earth, have someone who cares and loves them, who loves them. Whether it be in the past, the present, or maybe in the future, if they change. Or maybe not. Maybe they love that cruelness of them. But the future is still the future. You don't know what the future is. No one knows what the future is. And in the future, you could be surrounded by people you love. You could be just overwhelmed by the amount of people. Find something that makes you yourself selfishly happy. Whether it be drawing, art, sports, fucking off and reading books for like in a fireplace if you want to be like Vivia so much. But you have to remind yourself, you may feel lonely now, but your future is not set in stone. There may be people in the future who may find you to be a friend, who may find you to be a love, who may find you to be family. And by you denying yourself that future, you will never know. Move the soup box.
I've never been able to get them to recant those words.
That should be expected. After all, it is the truth. Everyone must overcome the death of others to keep on living. No one can remain in place and look back every time.
Is that so? We're almost to the roof. From here on, I can do nothing to stop this. Please listen. Even if you get to the roof, don't step out onto the floor.
Why? Is it broken?
Why?
Because they will try to take you. As long as you don't listen to them, you'll be able to shake it off.
I don't think Vivia truly wants to die. I think Vivia wants to just figure this shit out for his own curiosity's sake. He never said once he wanted to solve the case that's happening here. He's more of just his own interest in this.
That's because you're here to investigate what happened, not for your own death.
I don't know about that. The moment I got on the elevator, I think I made up my mind.
This would be such an out-of-character way to die, Vivia. I'm just saying. This would be quite out of character if you truly just determined this to be the best way to go.
No! You must be determined to survive! Otherwise they will take you!
Life and death. I fail to see the border between the two anymore. They both overlap. I can no longer tell which one is the real me.
Then please, think of the people you will leave behind! You must have some in your life. Are you really going to depart without saying farewell to them? There must be someone you'll regret not saying goodbye to.
If I had someone like that, I wouldn't be here. I have no one.
Again, for now. You don't have anyone for now that you truly think you're alone. The point of the matter is, your future self may have someone.
We need your help.
Like Yakko.
Isn't it cool to have a detective agency in a submarine?
Totally, Yakko, totally.
If you ever have trouble here in Kanai Ward, just come on by. The other detectives and I will always have your back. In exchange, you better watch out for us, too.
Fair point.
What a pain.
If you ever need something, let me know.
I want peace and quiet.
Then go into the fireplace and read a book, dude. That's peaceful and quiet enough, apparently.
Huh?
I want to be left alone.
There's no way I can do that. We're pals, aren't we? Vivia, you've barely eaten a thing since you came here. You're looking kind of emaciated.
What, he hasn't been already?
I'm eating well enough.
The pages of your book does not count. You're not a cow. You cannot eat the pages of a book. It has ink. It will kill you.
That's not for eating. That's for reading.
Same thing.
No, it's not.
How could they be the same thing? Do you hate the food in this town or something? The hotel restaurants offer lots of different choices. I'm sure you'll find something you can eat. All right, today's my treat. Let's go get dinner at a restaurant.
You have money, Yako?
Why bother with all that trouble? I wish you'd leave me alone.
And that's the mentality people need to break. When someone is in a depressive state like this, I'm sure some of us recognize this talk because it's come out of our mouths before. If you know you want to be left alone and you feel like that's your destiny to be left alone, you'll just constantly lash out. And so that's what truly solidifies your thoughts that you are alone, that no one cares. Because the minute someone reaches out, it's one of those things that kind of defies your expectation of what you believe in the future to be a life of loneliness. This is one of the hardest mentalities to break. And I say this, one, as someone who knows this mentality, but also for people who don't understand this mentality. I'm pretty sure there are going to be a lot of people that will be like, why is Vivia acting like this? This is so edgy and weird. What the hell? He's so emo, blah, 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 blah. This mentality is real. When you're in this state, you've already determined that you are a lonely motherfucker. That you are absolutely like alone and no one should give a shit about you. So the first instinct is to be abrasive and say, leave me alone, get the fuck away from me. Not eating, not taking care of oneself. And it's troubling as shit. It's troubling. But that's the thing you have to break. And you can't just break and be like, hey, you can't just do that. I'm gonna force feed you, or I'm gonna make sure that you stay in this room and you're not gonna do anything stupid, blah, 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 blah. That's not how you fix it. You fix it by being there regardless of this state. You have to be, your hand still has to be out there, ready for them. And you have to constantly remind them that they are not alone. Because the minute that they are left alone with their thoughts, they're going to just solidify the fact that they're alone. When if you're there to be like, hey, let me get you some snack. Let me get you food. You need a drink. You want to vent? You want to chat? You want to play video games? You want to just sit in the room and be quiet with me? As long as you know that I am there. It's one of those things where you just have to be there. And it's insufferable in an impatient role to be in. If you are an impatient person, it's so hard to do because you want to just be like, okay, I want to pull you out of this depression. I want to pull you out of this darkness. I'm going to pull you out of this loneliness. You can't be the one that pulls them from it, but you can be the one that has your hand out for them when they are ready to open their eyes to see your hand. It's so tough and it's so hard on both sides of the spectrum, where if you are the one who's depressed and you're the one who's feeling alone, all you want to do is just shut yourself into this little ball so that way you can justify the harm you're placing upon yourself. That way you can justify it in your head because you mentally can't believe anyone would love you or anyone would give a shit about you. And when you continuously see that hand, you may first in instinct feel the need to slap it away or just yell, scream, get away from me, but it's still there. And so it's that constant reminder that no, there is a hand right there and you have to be strong enough to take it. You have to be the one that is able to reach out and take that hand. And then when you are the person who's reaching out your hand out, you have to sit there and wait for them. Because if you pull them out, they may just force back. They might just push you away and force yourself back into their own little bubble and just kind of be scared on their own and just really shy away from literally you and everyone else. So you have to sit there and wait with your hand reached out to them. And it sucks. It sucks on all ends. But that is the human depression. That is human spirit. That is literally what happens and how you can help someone who is in that state. Have to wait. You have to be there. Because eventually that person will try and reach out if they are constantly reminded that they are not alone. If they know that there is someone reaching their hand out to them, they will feel eventually the need to reach out to see what will happen. Maybe their thoughts are wrong. Maybe their future is bountiful, full of people who love them. And they won't know until they take that hand. But at least that hand is a second option. let it be a second option, because when they don't see that hand, they don't see any other choice. They don't see a choice. Soapbox. Go away.
I can't do that. I may not look it, but I can be pretty persistent.
And that's probably why Vivia respected the fuck out of you, dude.
You told me one thing, so now I have to do the opposite. That's just how I am.
See, that's just slightly an asshole behavior, but you know what? In this case, it works.
That's what made me the detective I am today.
Jesus.
Don't wish for death. At this rate, you'll be taken away. They're growing stronger. Each new one makes them more formidable. They will even take hold of the living. We've arrived. They're coming.
Okay. Darkness. Ah! No! Nope, no touchy. No touchy.
So death awaits me here.
Don't touch me.
Don't go any further! Huh? They aren't moving. It's almost as though they haven't noticed you.
I thought so. They're only able to take away the living.
Fair enough.
Then you're also...
So you were there the entire time as your spirit form. Where the fuck are you sleeping? Where is your body? In comparison to where you are, where is your body?
I'm the same as you all. I'm a ghost.
No way.
However, in my case, my body still lingers in this world.
What does that mean? Who are you?
A detective who has his foot in the land on the other side.
I've already told you. I'm an ordinary detective. I just happen to have one foot on the other side. I decided to come here in my ghost form to try talking to you. And thanks to that, I can't be dragged out of here.
Valid.
Really? I don't quite understand. But you sure are a mysterious person.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a good guy, straight down. Like, he's a good guy. He just is just depressed a lot.
I wouldn't mind walking away on my own, but I refuse to let someone take me away from here. That is not the peace I desire.
And there we go.
So you've reconsidered?
I don't think that was ever the case. I think he kind of had a feeling that the people who were coming up here were kind of coerced in one way or another, and this was not the way to go. That's why I said it. Like, it would be completely out of character for him if he really did want to die in this way.
There is no need for you to be imprisoned here. I think your atonement has been fulfilled. Isn't it about time you sever your attachments here?
No. I want to remain behind. I need to ensure they don't take anyone else who comes here.
Noble.
Not everyone is as strong as you are.
Fair, but I don't think his motivations were indeed enticing enough for the hands to take him, if he did come here with his life form.
I'm not strong at all. I've just grown used to death. Also, will the elevator move again? Or is it stuck on the roof?
Yeah, until someone pushes the button.
Vivia! Are you there?
Look for his sleeping body. He's using his powers.
That's Chief Yako.
He's not here? Damn it. I'm at the wrong place.
Is that the roof? No, that can't be. Did he climb the steps to get to the roof?
I thought he'd come here to investigate.
He climbed the stairs.
So exhausted.
He took the stairs all the way to the roof to chase after the elevator.
He must have been worried about you. I've watched over 10 people depart, but he's the first one I've seen come looking for the dead. You have a place you can return to. Perhaps that's the difference between us.
Rio, honey, as much as you did do what you did, I'm sure you still have a place to call home, a safe place where you can be comforted, and that can bring you into a better other side.
Honestly, I don't care for all the noise. I'm rather envious of your world.
However, if you have a place to return home to, you should.
Home, huh? I find myself hesitating. I don't know which path I should take.
Isn't it obvious?
Hey, Vivia! Where did you go?
Please, go back to him. I'm sure he's waiting for you to return.
Yeah, he should. I think Rio may be the only chance that people may have to stop this from happening, but maybe. This is quite an interesting case. It really just puts you into this perspective of life and death.
Vivia! I was looking all over for you.
I was taking a nap.
You had
Hey.
such a solemn look on your face when you left, so I had a hunch. What happened?
Doing my job, dude.
I got a bit lost.
Getting lost at your age? Then again, you didn't come to this city that long ago, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And there's that hand. There you go.
Anyway, I'm glad you're okay.
Give him the umbrella.
Let's go back to my awesome agency office.
Death is always awaiting me upon my path. Like trees neatly lining the roadside, casting dark shadows at my feet. Even if I manage to overcome them, and make it to the end of that path. When I turn around, the cruel truth is waiting there. The shadows are a procession to my own funeral. To live means to continuously die. Every human is nothing but a walking corpse. And so, I too am dying in this moment. However, as long as I continue to travel this path, I may enjoy some peaceful scenery. Beyond the truth. Perhaps the peace I desire can be found there.
What a good story. That not a lot of gameplay, but a lot of just character motivations. You can see why Vivia really had that connection with Yako. Really, really nice. Oh, it's Erica! Erica Mendez. Okay, so I was wrong, but you know what? Beautiful work anyways. So, okay. I took a swing and I was wrong, but it's alright. That's awesome. Alright.